Maybe we can request for people at the back to come forward because we don't have a sound system. We don't have a microphone.
We can hear you.
So we welcome everybody for this public forum organized by the Philippine Press Club of Ontario. We have a very special guest tonight, fellow journalist, who has a very colorful history. Eric Bacolinaw, when he was a student at the University of the Philippines, I noticed there are UP alumni here. He was the president of the UP Student Council in 1970, and he was there too when the Dickman Commune came up in 1971. He was, for a while, he was a spokesperson of the Kabataan Makabayan. And these were the years when student demonstrations were being held almost every week in Manila. And the peak of the demonstrations was what was called the first quarter storm of 1970. From January to March, almost every week or maybe twice a week, there were demonstrations protesting government policies, protesting the Philippine participation in the Vietnam War, and demanding land reform, lower wages for the workers, and better working conditions for the workers too. Eric, in 1971, I think it was August or before August, he was with a group of student leaders. They visited China. I think they were scheduled to visit for about 2 weeks, and then come back to Manila. During those days after they reached China, I believe, or I don't know exactly what date, the writ suspension of habeas corpus came up. It was then President Marcos's first big action before martial law of 1972. So student leaders in his group in China, who were visiting China, could not return to Manila because of risk of being arrested by the military. So they stayed in China to wait for developments. It turned out to be a very long wait. And he would tell the story. I don't want to tell the story. Anyway, he later in China practiced journalism, and years after, he became the Beijing bureau chief of NBC News. And one important thing is when they covered the Tiananmen massacre in 1989, their coverage won an Emmy Award for that coverage. So it's a very, very important recognition for their work in his bureau, Beijing bureau. So, what else? Without further ado, I'd like to give you Eric Bacolinaw.
Thank you, Ernie. First of all, thank you for having me
me and giving this opportunity to take notes, especially about China. And I'm happy to join in discussions about China, because China is becoming more important. Coming from the Philippines, especially, we know that relating with China is most important for two reasons: for our security, we are close neighbors, and also even more important for our economic development, because as you know, China is now becoming more second biggest economy in the world, and will become #1, no doubt about it. And will, for our purposes, will become the #1 export market for our products eventually. As you know, China is even the biggest trading nation, even bigger than the U.S. So it's not only exporting, but importing more. So from our, especially from my point of view of being concerned always about how we, the Philippines, our country, can catch up and accelerate the dream of, on prosperity. Relating with China is a very important issue. So we'll go back more on that later. But in the meantime, I'd like to clarify that I'm here, not in an official capacity as a bureau chief of English, although I am, I exercise